All right, welcome to Talking Investing. I'm Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. Today, I want to talk about the Bitcoin miners' performance, and I want to look at their performance over the last 90 days because there's been a massive divergence in the performance of Bitcoin miners. So I want to go through, this is an analysis I did last week. I want to update it because it's changed quite a bit. So also, I think there's some common denominators between those Bitcoin miners that are excelling and those that are falling behind. So I just want to give an update on this one. Pardon my voice, I have a cold. It sounds worse than it really is. We cover Bitcoin miners and Bitcoin all the time on this channel. So if that is content you're interested in, please remember to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Also, if everybody could please smash the like button. You can also now join the channel. If you want to support the channel, you can hit the join button and you get some extra content. We also do an extra live stream that's for members only. Okay, let's talk about the Bitcoin miners. So Bitcoin's been drifting sideways a little bit. It's hanging out in the $19,000 range. But as it does so, the Bitcoin miners are having very different reactions. So I want to go to a chart that I had done less than a week ago, and I'm now updating it because it has changed. As the Bitcoin miners were rising, they kind of all rose together in a big way. Then they kind of all fell off a cliff together. Now they're acting a little bit different from each other. So I expect more and more of this over time. This is the chart updated for where everything was trading right now in the middle of the trading day today on Monday, September 26th. So obviously this will keep changing throughout the day, and by the time you see it, it may change a little, but the trend is becoming obvious here. There's the haves and the have-nots. This is a measurement from the June lows that each one of these Bitcoin miners hit until today's price. Mawson's by far the worst at down 46%. DigiHost is down 27%. Stronghold is down 25%. Cleanspark is down 14%. And I will tell you that for those of you who watch the channel, you know that I personally have a position in Cleanspark, and it's something that I'm bullish on. So again, this is not financial advice. You guys got to do your own due diligence. But Cleanspark is now down 14% from its low in the summer. So to me, some of these companies that are down lower than their summer lows, you have to look at their performance and ask yourself, is that justified? Some of these companies deserve to go down because they've hit a roadblock, they have big liquidity problems, but a lot of these other companies have continued to increase their exahash and operationally perform at a high level. So I like to compare that performance from the company to the performance of the stock. And that's where I like to try to see if there's any buying opportunities. So that's what I do with this chart. So I'm just going to run through a bunch in the middle because you've got Wolf, Bitfarms, Gree, Cypher, Bit Digital, Core Scientific, Argo Blockchain. Those are all anywhere from down 5% to up 6%. So that's basically zero plus or minus, 5 or 6%, right? Bitfarms is up 1% from where it was on its summer lows. I want to talk about a few of the standouts. I want to talk about the leaders on this board. I think there's a clear top three, and then there's a fourth that I could put in that group as well. And I think they all have at least one thing in common. This may not be the only thing driving the price action, but I do think there's a very clear correlation here. So Mawson is down 46%, while Marathon's up 87%. So we can no longer say that these miners are now moving in correlation with Bitcoin as a group. They're now clearly distinguishing themselves from each other. As they get more mature and we get more and more information, these stocks are behaving very differently. So this is part of the process why I always harp on doing your own due diligence and knowing your stock and having conviction in your stock, because you can see a year ago, you could shoot a dart at a dartboard and whatever stock it landed on, it was going to go through the roof because everything was on the rise up to the November highs for Bitcoin and for the market as well. But now, obviously, we're in a very, very different environment. So taking in all this information and doing as much due diligence as you can is critical in this cycle of the market. We're still very near Bitcoin's lows, and it still may take out its lows from the summer. It has not done so yet. It's held very strong here in this 19,000-ish area. That's what I'm expecting to continue to happen, but I don't know the future. So Marathon at first, they're up 87%. Riot is up 67% off of its summer lows. So those two are really starting to break away from the group, but there are two others that are performing well. HUT is up 39% and Hive is up 34%. So I want to show you one thing that those four companies have in common. And I do think this is one of the major factors as to why they're outperforming all of the other Bitcoin miners. Okay, this is the HODL chart. So I update this every month. This is how much Bitcoin each company has on their balance sheet. The top four are Marathon, HUT, Riot, and Hive. Well, that's the same top 4 as the stock performers. Obviously, that's not the only thing driving stock price, and all we can do is look for correlations and try and find trends and tendencies. But this one is really jumping off the page, in my opinion. One of the main takeaways that I have right now is that the Bitcoin mining stocks are not necessarily trading on their operational updates. So operational excellence right now is not being rewarded, in my opinion, at all. What is being rewarded is a strong balance sheet and liquidity. So this is just a further step in the risk-off process that the market has been going through really for a year now. The entire Bitcoin mining sector is more of a risk-on investment, but you can see now they're even differentiating from one miner to the other. So the less risky miners are the ones that have stronger balance sheets and better liquidity. So the Bitcoin miners that have performed the best, that have had the best monthly operational updates, that have had the higher efficiency levels, that have had more of an increase in their exahash, all of those companies are not at the top of this list. Some of them are near the bottom of this list. So if we look in the middle, Cypher's up 2%. They're really still not producing anything, so I don't know what to take away from that. Core Scientific is only up 3%. Their balance sheet carries a lot of debt. So again, I think they have very few Bitcoin. They've sold almost 15,000 Bitcoin this year, so they've gotten rid of almost all of their HODL position. They've sold them really near Bitcoin's lows. I think that Marathon and Riot are considered the safest place, and I think that HUT is considered also maybe in third place the safest place because they have a very strong balance sheet. They're a very conservative approach to doing what they do, so they have good liquidity. So I'm going to keep my eye on this chart. If it changes dramatically, I will continue to show you guys the update on this. So you can see this is where we were just less than 1 week ago. So, the chart is very similar, but it has gotten worse. Almost every single one of these has gotten worse, but you can see the top 4 are still the same: Marathon, Riot, HUT, and Hive. But I also want to know one more thing. So this is where we were a week ago. If I go back to where we are today, the only company that's actually improved on this list is Riot. So Riot is actually in a better place today than it was a week ago, whereas most of the rest of these companies, while they've stayed in a similar order, they've all been pulling back closer and closer to their previous summer lows or, taking out their previous summer lows. So at the moment, I think Riot has been the soundest investment over the last 90 days. That doesn't mean it's the best company or the best stock, but it has been the best investment, I think. So for me, I'm taking a chance at some of the stocks on the lower side of this chart that I think are performing very well operationally, but their stock is performing very poorly. So, in the event that Bitcoin recovers, I think those have a lot more upside. So it's just a matter of your philosophy. And again, obviously, none of this is financial advice. Please do your own due diligence because you can see these are wild, wild swings in the stocks in this industry. So that's my update today for you on the Bitcoin miners and essentially their activity over the last 90 days off of their summer lows. So thanks so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video.